The new Whirlpool W collection with Sixth Sense technology that fully guides you to achieve perfect results. Whirlpool, sensing the difference.
And you're very welcome back. Krissy Gibson from Take the Cake is back with us once again, so we know we're in for a sweet treat. Hey, Krissy, how are you?
Good. How are you, Aidan?
Very well, thanks. So what you have in front of you looks like a brownie, except for the colour.
Doesn't it? I know. These are lemon blondies, so they are brownies, but they're just, they're not brunette, are they? They're blonde. So they're a good summer treat, and it's good to kind of bring some sunshine back into our day today because we need it, don't we?
Yeah, it's a good time for it.
So we're going to start with, I brought a dinosaur of a stand-up mixer today, so come on, old girl. I know you can do it. We're going to start.
When I was outside the studio earlier on, I thought there was construction work going on in here.
She's an oldie but a goodie.
Okay.
I know you can do it. We're in this together. So we're starting with 115 grams of salted butter. I don't put any other salt in the recipe, so I do use salted butter for this. That's about 1/4 pound, and 160 grams of castor sugar. All right, here it goes. There she is. So if you want to use granulated sugar instead, you can do that. So what you want to do is mix up your butter and your sugar until it's nice and fluffy, okay? And then we've got 2 eggs that we're using today. I've got pasteurized eggs. Fresh eggs are great too. Make them room temperature because if you use eggs that are too cold, it's gonna freeze up your butter. And you want to make the butter nice and fluffy. So what we're going to do is mix in these eggs, okay? I do it one at a time.
Sorry, what?
I do it one at a time, Aidan. 1 egg at a time, and that way you'll know that your eggs are getting nicely incorporated into your batter. And what we want to do is give this as much time as we can so that it'll get nice and fluffy, okay? So we're going to give it another mix, so be prepared to raise your voice. Now, you may be tempted to use some leftover lemon juice from Pancake Tuesday, and I will tell you now, don't do it.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, but you know what? My neighbor has a half a bottle of lemon juice left in her fridge from Pancake Tuesday, and she was like, you know, I can use that. No, don't do it,
that's
honey.
Gonna ruin it. You want to be fresh, right?
No, you have to use fresh lemons for this, okay? So if you have 2 lemons, that'll do it for the whole thing. Now, as we start with the lemons for this, we're gonna zest it first. We're gonna zest half a lemon into our batter, okay? Half of the lemon zest will do. Now, we're gonna give it another mix, and we're gonna add the juice of half a lemon, which comes to 20 mils. Again, fresh lemon, not bottled, for the love of God, not bottled. Now, we're gonna give this, come on, old girl, you can do it. We're gonna give it another mix. And then the last ingredient we're gonna add is self-raising flour. I used to use baking powder with this, and I don't anymore. As I've kind of gotten to know my blondies better, I remember that adding more rising ingredients will make it cakey, right? Brownies are dense. They're supposed to be dense. We want them dense. So although we are using self-raising flour, we're not going to add any additional raising ingredients. Come to think of it, I wonder if on the recipe on your website, I removed the part about mixing the baking powder. If it's there, ignore it.
Okay, leave it out.
What would one of my recipes be without a mistake? So here we go, we're gonna add the flour, and that's our last ingredient, okay? Now, we've got our dough, and we're gonna bake this in a greased 8x8 casserole dish, okay? And we're putting the oven at 160 degrees Celsius, and the pan does need to be greased, or as an alternative, you could put grease-proof paper at the bottom, okay? And just lift it out when you're done. Yeah.
And those blasts of Noisy Nelly there, is that TV time, or is that all it takes?
No, that's not all it takes. It is TV time. Each time you add one of those eggs, you're going to leave it for a minute or 2, okay? We're cheating today. Gotcha. What you want is a really fluffy batter. This is nice and fluffy now, but you could go even fluffier, okay? So I've got my greased casserole dish here, and I'm going to add it, and I'm going to level it out with my spatula. And then we're going to bake it for about 20 minutes. It should be done after 20 minutes. You may need as much as 25, but you shouldn't. If you want to use a toothpick to test it out and make sure that comes out dry, you can do that. We're going to put that in the oven for 20 minutes, and when we're done, it's going to come out looking like this, nice and golden. Now, while it's still warm, we're going to pour a glaze over it, okay? This is how we make the glaze, and this part is so yummy. We're starting with 130 grams of icing sugar, okay? And then we're gonna take another 1.5 lemons, okay? So this time that's 50 mils of fresh lemon juice. If you get if you get pulp in there, that's fine, don't worry about that. But you wanna use 50 mils of fresh lemon juice, which is about another 1.5 lemons, okay? And then we're taking the zest of another half lemon. So altogether, you're using the zest of a full lemon, half of it in your batter and half of it in your glaze. So only 3 ingredients. We're gonna whisk that together, all right? And you want it nice and smooth and creamy, okay? Now, if you do this too far ahead of time, it's gonna get too thick. So you don't wanna do that. But it'll be nice and smooth when you're done. You see how nice and glossy that is? All right, and I'm cheating here because of TV time. It may take a few minutes to get the clumps of icing sugar out. So while your brownies are still warm, you're just gonna cover the top. You don't need to poke holes in the top. Some people like to, you can, you don't need to.
Okay, and you would prefer not to?
Do you know something? You know me, I'm a little bit lazy. And I like to skip as many steps as I can.
Okay.
And I have found that you simply don't need to poke the holes as long as you're doing this while it's still warm. Another thing that I like to do is just tip it on its side a little bit and let it get into all the cracks on the side. And that way I know that when I cut through my lemon blondies, all of the edge pieces will be just as lemony. Does that make sense? So give that a taste, Aidan, and tell me what you think. You're gonna wanna wait at least another 10 or 15 minutes to slice into these, because in that time, the glaze that you poured on top will have sort of solidified on the top, and it won't run all over the place and make a big mess on you.
And it's firmed up lovely.
Isn't that nice?
You know, you say it's dense, it's really light.
It is. It's not a heavy dessert. It certainly isn't a regular chocolate brownie that we're used to. It's a nice summer brownie, isn't it?
It's beautiful. It really is. It makes a nice change. We had a question in here, Krissy. We actually had a lot of reaction last week to the rhubarb cake you did.
Yeah.
Because we know how popular rhubarb is in Ireland, and people might be fed up from making the tarts and things like that. Bridge has been in touch. He said, please ask Krissy, what can I use, instead of light muscovado sugar to make the rhubarb bread that you made last week? I've tried Dunn's, Super Value, Central, Lidl and Aldi. None of them stock it. Also would like to know what measurement in metric is a tablespoon of butter. So twofold question.
Good, okay. So I'm sorry you're having trouble finding that, Brie. The truth is you do need light muscovado sugar, and I buy mine at both Dunn's and Tesco. I know they carry them. The thing is that I think maybe restocking the shelves sometimes can be tricky. It depends upon what time of the week you're going.
Okay.
I don't know what night they're restocking. You do need light muscovado sugar. Don't use Demerara. If you absolutely cannot find it, then use dark muscovado sugar, but you do want light.
Yeah, the light made the difference. And then the measurement in metric of a tablespoon of butter?
15 grams.
Okay, Bridge, hope that helps, and good luck on your search for the light muscovado sugar. And just like that, that is light, beautiful and zesty as well. Thanks, Krissy. Lemon Blondies, a real treat. Full recipe details are up on our website. Or as ever, you can check out takethecake.ie for more of Krissy's recipes and stockists. Now, coming up next, multi-talented actor and musician, the legend that is Steve Wall, is joining us next. Back in a few minutes.
The new Whirlpool W collection with Sixth Sense technology that fully guides you to achieve perfect results. Whirlpool, sensing the difference.